We're going to look at lesson 52, properties of different quadrilaterals, specifically rectangles and rhombuses, or rhombi, however you say it. The first quadrilateral we want to look at is a rectangle. And we're going to talk about just what a diagonal does to these different quadrilaterals. So if you have two diagonals here, well, the property of a rectangle states that if you have two diagonals, that they are congruent. So PR is congruent to QS. And that's property for a diagonal of a rectangle. For a rhombus, let's look at the diagonals in a rhombus. The diagonals in a rhombus, property of rhombus is diagonals are perpendicular. So they form 90 degrees. The second property is that diagonals bisect opposite angles. So this angle is congruent, or these two angles are congruent because the diagonal bisects. And that would be true for all these different angles. But anyways, those are different properties for rectangles and rhombuses, but those are specifically talking about diagonals. Now let's look at one problem that uses these. And the math is very easy on these, basic algebra. Example 2 says BCDF is a rhombus, and it wants us to find the measure of angle EBC and ECD. Okay, how can we do that? Well, let's look at what it gives us. It gives us EBC is 3x plus 12. All right, we need to find the specific measure of what that angle is. It also gives us ECB is x plus 10. Well, how can we solve using those? These are not congruent and they're not supplementary. So what other properties of rhombuses do we know? Well, let's look at our properties. This one says diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, well, let's see if we can use that. If this is a rhombus, its diagonals are perpendicular. Therefore, we actually know the measure of all three angles, and we only have one variable in x. So we can try to solve by doing 3x plus 12 plus x plus 10 plus 90 equals 180. Then we can subtract, let's see, we'll go ahead and add 12 and 10 and 90 together to get 112. And then 3x plus x is 4x. Those all equal 180. Subtract 112. And that would be 68 equals 4x. Divide by 4. Let me make sure that's right. 3x plus 12. 112. Okay. Oops. And then 68 divided by 4 is 17. So x equals 17. Sorry, I had a brain lapse there. X equals 17. Now we can plug in to find angle EBC. So we say 3 times 17 plus 12. 3 times 17 plus 12 for EBC. And I do 3 times 17, solve for that, 51 plus 12, 63 degrees. So now we have one angle. Now we need to find the other. Our other angle is ECD. Okay, well that's this angle. I'm going to put a little 1 there. That's what we're looking for. and we're given x plus 10 is this angle. Well, looking back at our properties of rhombuses, diagonals also bisect opposite angles. So that means if this angle is x plus 10, we can also say that angle is x plus 10. So when we solve for x plus 10, we will know our answer. We remember that x was 17, and so we do 17 plus 10 to get 27 degrees. And those are our two answers. So those are some different properties of rhombuses and rectangles. And now you can use those when you're solving different math problems.